Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today is March 8th, and the time is flying. I don't know what to say. It's just things happen so fast over here. It's not even fast. It's just sometimes you're so absorbed in things, and you just don't realize that you've spent 3 days in this magical. It's amazing, in an amazing place, and you cannot thank Allah enough, or no one can. I cannot thank Allah enough for giving this opportunity and this blessing to share, to see with my own eyes and visit the Imams. So there are a few things I wanted to share. Today we went for the Ziarat of Atraf in Karbala. So I want to talk about those Ziara and an observation that I had. Then I'll talk about something that I experienced at the shrine of Imam Hussain AS. So the ziyarah that we did today, they were focused on Hazrat Hur, and the second one was about for Tiflan Muslim, and then there was one for Hazrat On. So the question that I was thinking as we were going to Tiflan Muslim, the road is pretty rugged. They're building a new bridge so the buses cannot go over there on the other side of the river because their bodies had traveled down the river, so they were buried in a farm garden of sorts by the farmer named Museebah. So as we went over there, we had to walk a long way to reach there. Now, I was thinking to myself as we were coming back, the children of Hazrat Muslim, amazing story. They were part of this broader campaign that Imam Hussain AS led, and they were Shahada as part of that campaign, and that's why their name is still alive. People still go long distances to see, to visit the graves of Muhammad and Ibrahim, the sons of Muslim bin Aqeel. No one else does that. No one goes to any of the graves of any ordinary children. There are a lot of children were killed, have been killed over time, but they've been forgotten. A lot of men have been killed and die every day, but they are forgotten. The key isn't about the children being killed. The key is affiliation of the children to the cause of Imam Hussain AS. And the same case with Hur. Hur, who we all know was part of the enemy. He had the love of Ahl-e-Bait, and that's why he said that I won't say the same thing that you said for my mother, because your mother is Sayyid Fatima Zahra salawatullah alayha. But the respect that he gets today is because the respect he got from Imam Hussain AS on the day of Ashura. There have been so many people who have died, even in battles, but the respect that he gets is because he was part of the martyrs of Karbala, and Imam Hussain AS gave him respect. So again, the principle, the logic is pretty apparent that if you are connected to the cause of Imam Hussain AS, if you're connected, then you will live. Otherwise, you'll be forgotten as part of the history. Now, the third thing that I noticed on our way to these two ziyara is about the poles. So each of the poles, people know that who go for the walk, each of the poles have a number, but under the number there are pictures right now of the Shahada who have given their life for the protection of the holy places in Karbala, and even in Syria. So their pictures not only their pictures, so they themselves are now immortal. Their graves, I might not know about their graves, but the sacrifice that they've given, they will always be remembered as those who participated in the defense of the holy shrines. And that is how they will be referred to in this world, and that is how they will be referred to in the hereafter. That is how 1,000 years, 500 years, however, who knows how long we have in this world. But whenever the history is written that people tried, Daesh, Wahhabi, tried to attack Karbala like they did in 1801 or in early 1900s, it was these people who stood up, who defended. So with that being said, as I was going through so when we came back, one of the things that I noticed myself was at the grave of Imam Hussain AS. So even before going there, the lesson of these three examples is whoever associates themselves with the cause of Imam Hussain AS will be remembered. With the cause of Ahl-e-Bait will be remembered. Their name, their identity, their passion, their love will not be forgotten. And it is a promise by Allah, and it will come true, unlike any other thing. Now, that leaves us in an interesting situation. People, as I've discussed this several times, people are of different types in this world that we live in, especially among the Shias, depending on where they live, what type of circumstances do they live in. First type of people are those who live in countries which are Sunni majority and are and under tyrant rule, like Saudi Arabia. They are in Sakaya. They cannot do anything. They cannot even fight, nor they can raise their voice. They just have to survive. There are people. Second type of people are people who live in countries like Pakistan or like Indonesia, which are not technically tyrant, but they are Sunni majority. So it's difficult for them to make a case about things. They can convey the message, but it's hard for them to make a stand. They can stand for themselves, that would be great, but they cannot make a stand for others in the world, especially because their governments are Sunni majority. Now there's this third group of people who lives in non-Muslim countries where they have no voice, they have freedom, but they cannot really add a lot of value because they're a minority anyways. And like, for example, India or other countries where their minority is in a minority and they don't have they can continue their own things, but their own practices, but they cannot make a difference. And then there's this fourth group of people who are living in Western countries which are technically non-Muslims, but they have a lot of freedom, a lot of resources, and the governments have influence that they can influence people around the world and governments around the world to make a difference for the cause of Ahl-e-Bait al-Islam. And these are the people, including myself, who will be accountable for not only that their responsibility isn't to defend the shrines because it's not in their area where they live. Their responsibility is different, to make a difference, to make a stand for the cause of Ahl-e-Bait al-Islam, whether it is the freedom of Hijaz, because Hijaz is under the dominant control of Wahhabis, or it is the cause or the killings of Shia and protecting the Shias from around the world, or giving them strength for education and other means, supporting the orphans, etc. It's their responsibility. They will be asked because they have the resources and can make a difference. So that That being said, I want to share an example. That I felt at the shrine of Imam Hussain AS. I was standing at the shrine of Imam Hussain AS, and obviously, when you go to the shrine of Imam AS, you remember the masaib, the sacrifice that happened, and the feeling automatically is of grief over there, whether it is the day of his birth, or his brother's birth, or his son's birth. Every single day, you just automatically have tears flowing your eyes just by thinking what happened to Imam Hussain AS. And absolutely, it is the biggest atrocity in the world to the most holiest person in the world, who's the son of the Prophet, son of the sun and the moon, who is the best, who is the product of two golds, who is the silver from the product of two golds. So no doubt, that's great, but we should think about when he was young, when he and his brother and sister were young, and they had witnessed what happened to their mother. They had witnessed how they burned the door of the house of her mother. When they saw her mother being slapped, when they saw his brother being murdered, unborn child of her mother, was a Muslim being murdered, when he saw her being thrown on the ground, when he saw his father with a rope in his neck being taken to the court, when he saw his mother going and getting his father from the court, when he saw the right of his mother being usurped, when he saw the right of his father being usurped, when people stopped talking to his father, when he saw they used to go door to door asking for help and no one came, only 4 people showed up day after day, when he saw that the Medina in which his grandfather used to kiss him, love him, give him rides, that same Medina is now a place where people don't want to talk to them, where people don't want to love them. When they saw all of this as like 6-7-year-old children, what kind of scar would have it left? It would have left on them. What kind of trauma they would have gone through. And I had this inspiration that that trauma was no less than the trauma of Karbala. Same Imam Hussain had gone through that same trauma, that trauma that cannot be comprehended. We don't talk about it because of politics, because of reasons where we cannot talk about the second Caliph, because of Shia Sunni unity, because of the things that these people committed. We don't want to talk about this. But this is what happened. This is what Imam went through when he was young. If you think about a young boy or girl who goes through such a trauma, when her mother is holding her ribs and going out of the town to cry day and coming back with his sons, and the sons are seeing her mother just becoming weak and weak, knowing that she is the daughter of the Prophet, knowing that she is the lady of the heaven, knowing that she is the best in the world, and she's slowly fainting away and she's going to die. How would you feel? Those 3 months, how would they have endured those 3 months? And if we cannot raise voice about the atrocity that happened to them, where we are free, where we do not have taqiyya, where we can say the historical facts, then shame on us. Then shame on us. May Allah give us the strength to revive the facts about Ahl-e-Bait al-Islam and bring the truth to life again and again till our Imam comes back and makes the judgment. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.